Esteemed guests and fellow colleagues, I bid you all a warm welcome. Today, you are going to be listening to a few viewpoints of the Guyana's classroom literacy curriculum. Firstly, permit me to highlight the view of the literacy curriculum structure and learning needs of Guyanese learners. The language arts subject in Guyana curriculum is viewed as an opportunity for active learning. Students actively, strategically, and meaningfully listen, speak, read, view, write, and depict by drawing on prior knowledge, teacher suggestions, and explicit teachings. Each language arts strand provides many opportunities for learners to engage with paper-based and digital text in a wide range of ways. The Guyana Curriculum Framework, which emphasizes the value of learning experiences that reflect the Guyana principles of learning, principles of inclusivity, and principles of assessment, serves as a foundation for the Guyanese language arts curriculum. The language arts curriculum begins with a statement of the purpose of language arts. The purpose statement is followed by the grade level guidelines for language arts, which provides an overview of the expectations for each strand of language arts learning for each grade. Guyana's curriculum has defined literacy as the ability to identify, understand, interpret, create, communicate, and compute using printed and written materials associated with varying contents. To achieve these, the Government of Guyana, through the Ministry of Education, sees the renewed national curriculum as a fortified foundation to ensure the realization of this vision. The classic definition of literacy is the capacity for reading and writing. However, the definition of the term has been broadened to include the capacity to make sense of the world around us using language, mathematics, images, and other tools. Upon keen observation of the Language Arts National Curriculum Guide from grades 1 to 3, it was observed that 4 types of literacy are being utilized in the same. The types of literacy that were identified were reading and writing literacy, digital literacy, cultural literacy, and emotional and physical literacy. Allow me at this point to give a brief explanation of 3 types of literacy and how they are evident in the Language Arts National Curriculum Guide. First up, reading and writing literacy. According to ABC Literacy Canada, literacy has always been understood as the ability to read and write. These skills can develop over time and they should be practiced regularly. Throughout the National Curriculum Guide, it is evident that these 2 skills are being practiced every day. The National Curriculum Guide, coupled with the weekly instructional timetable, provides many opportunities to engage learners in literacy. Secondly, digital literacy. According to UNICEF, digital literacy is increasingly recognized as a central element of the skills a child requires for school, work, and life. Won't you agree? In the National Curriculum Guide, this type of literacy is incorporated in the reading and viewing language arts strands. It gives way for the learners to read and view digital text or content associated with literacy. Bearing in mind that digital literacy is beyond reading and viewing content digitally. In some cases, the learners are supervised by the teachers as they use devices to browse various literacy platforms. Finally, cultural literacy. Cultural literacy is the ability to understand all the subtle nuances that come along with living or working in a particular society. This definition was taken from a Canadian literacy website. 2 of the essential learning outcomes for two of the language arts strands in the National Curriculum Guide show how this type of literacy will benefit the pupils. One of the ELOs for speaking and listening states that learners will demonstrate understanding of how the cultural background and structure of oral and oral languages are used to communicate. End of quote. In the reading and viewing language arts strands, one of the ELOs states that learners will demonstrate a variety of ways to select and engage critically with a range of culturally diverse print, visual and digital text for a variety of purposes. In general, the Language Arts National Curriculum Guide is current with regard to the evolving facets of literacy. Now, let's examine a few points where the National Curriculum Framework and the theoretical concept of literacy are similar and different. The areas of literacy are reading and writing. These areas can further be subcategorized as reading word reading, reading comprehension, writing spelling, and writing composition. Reading and writing are two strands in literacy instruction. Using these strands in literacy instruction can help to guide teachers and students in planning content and completing activities. The national curriculum is structured using strands that cater to reading, writing, speaking, listening, viewing, and representing. These strands are the building blocks of how to teach concepts in literacy as it uses the 5 big ideas. Literacy, as it is taught in the curriculum, strives to get students ready for life and work in the Guyanese society. Recognizing that everyone has the capacity to obtain and acquire the necessary skills for employment. The curriculum blurs the border between spoken and written language and supports the growth of digital and online technologies, as well as new forms of communication. However, modern conceptions of literacy go beyond only being able to read and write. Permit me briefly to discuss the benefits and drawbacks of the structure of the National Literacy Curriculum before I wrap up. The curriculum defines the educational foundations and contents, their sequencing in relation to the amount of time available for the learning experiences, the characteristics of the teaching institutions, the characteristics of the learning experiences, in particular from the point of view of the methods to be used, the resources for learning and teaching, example, the textbooks and new technologies, evaluation and teacher's profile. In simple words, the curriculum is a description of what, why, how, and how well students should learn in a systematic and intentional way, stated by UNESCO IBE 2011. With reference to these definitions, a curriculum should have a sequence of flow of content and concepts in terms of time allotted to teach and practice the same. However, the Guyana literacy curriculum seems not to possess this quality, since it does not outline the week, number, and duration in which a topic or concept should be taught. This can be both positive and negative. Having the flexibility to teach a concept for as long as is needed and not be restrained by a time frame can be an advantage to the pupils who need more work and practice in the topic. On the flip side, not having a specific duration to which it must be covered can cause teachers, especially teachers with limited experience, to be somewhat distraught and unaware of how long they should focus on a topic. The sequential order of the topics is also not evident in the curriculum, though one might argue that it's now the teacher's duty to plan this sequence, I beg to differ, since the curriculum guide, as the name suggests, is believed to be a guide for the teachers. The definition provided by UNESCO earlier, it states that the curriculum is intentional and systematic. Without a sequential flow of topics, both intentionality and organization are missing. On the other hand, the instructional intent of the curriculum is of great benefit to the teachers and pupils. This is because it allows for the inclusion of appropriate resource materials and activities such as anchor texts, etc. Teachers can easily access these materials from right within the curriculum, making the planning of lessons easier. Therefore, allowing more time for the teachers to prepare for the effective implementation of the lesson. In conclusion, though literacy and its meaning is quite a controversial topic to discuss, we can say that it is one of the most important aspects of success, since there are many different types of it. Hence, literacy is greatly associated with education. Thank you.